is happening? Welcome to my channel. My name is Matt Bradford. Today we're going to talk about some blues concepts. Okay, there's going to be a lot of talking. I would encourage you to stick around for it. But if you're like, I can't do it, I don't like your voice, I just want to learn the concepts, they're here. They start here, I think. I think the times are going here now and not over here, but we'll see. Okay, so and the reason I'm sitting this far over on the frame is because obviously we're going to put lesson materials here. I hope the lesson materials and the backing track for today are available on Patreon. It's $5 a month. It's how I'm trying to support this channel. Please join me there. Gear being used. I am using an Apocalypse Machine lap steel. I build these. They are now for sale. I used to say they're not for sale. They're now for sale. They're available on Reverb if you just search Apocalypse Machine, and I'll put a link in the description for that as well. I'm going through a tungsten number 2 boost. It's a great little boost. It's like a fuzz face and a what's it called? Treble booster kind of had like an awesome demonic child, and it sounds like this all the way up, which is too thick. But if I roll the volume back, it gives me that nice glassy. I know how to play guitar. Aren't you glad you came here for lessons? Oh God. And then I'm going into my satellite Elmer. Okay. So, blues concepts. Let me start with this. I'm going to talk about some concepts. I am not going to use tabs. One of the big things... Okay, Ozzy died yesterday. And, his music had a huge impact on me, especially as a young man who was kind of lost, and that was he was one of the first guy, when I heard that Crazy Train record, it was like, what is this? And then No More Tears was just like, this is amazing. And, it gave me a way out. So Ozzy died yesterday, and today, I woke up this morning and decided I would do a tribute to Ozzy. And so I did a little Mr. Crowley video on Instagram. Obviously, there are no tabs for Mr. Crowley for lap steel. There are no tabs, I mean, maybe there are, I didn't even look, for open D tuning to do his vocal lines. That's okay, because I can sit down and I can figure it out. The thing that's the most important thing is using your ear. I'm going to show you the diagrams. I'm going to show you all the stuff. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The notes are the least important part. Being able to figure out how to make it sound the way you want it to sound. Not the way I want it to sound, right? You don't like how much distortion I'm using. You don't like the tone or whatever. That's okay, right? You like it clean, then play clean. I like it dirty. This is what inspires me. What I'm trying to do is hopefully give you the tools to find what inspires you. If I want to sit down and learn something, I can sit down and learn it by ear. And then if I don't understand what's happening, I need to learn the concepts. And it can go both ways, right? I've learned stuff before where I learned the concept first and I was like, that's really cool. And now I can hear it when it happens. I think one of the big takeaways here is going to be, I'm going to present you with a lot of information to help you figure out what's happening. But we're going to go through this track and I'll show you once we get there. But basically there's a reason that like tabs don't give you enough of the information. This gives you all the information. And and this goes back, I know there's so much talking. One of the things that I'm really proud of as a young guitar teacher 23 years ago, that's terrifying. One of the things I was really proud of was I came up with an exercise where I had some students who were young and they had a hard time sitting still for an hour, and I was much more of like a high-priced babysitter than I really was a teacher. But we would sit back to back, and I would play a note, and then they would have to find the note. And then I would do it again. And they got to find the note, right? And then play a different note. And they got to find that note. And it's like that starts to develop the ear. And then we would do 2 notes, right? And you start to learn what is that sound. Now, I have the scale here. So if you're sitting here going like, what are those notes? Sit down and figure them out. Rewind the video, right? Rewind the video and get it to the point where you can tell what's going on. That's how we used to learn. That's a way that develops your ear. And so then you can start to, and it's a muscle. It doesn't start right away. It's a lot more accessible if I just tell you this is the note and this is the note. But starting to get the feel and starting to get the stuff that's happening that you want to happen, that comes from listening and playing. How do I make it sound that way? Right? The number of notes that I hear where I'm like, I know exactly what those notes are, but I can't make it sound like that yet. Because it takes practice. It takes me trying to figure out how is Derek Trucks getting that sound, or how is Robert Randolph getting that sound, or how are they getting it? And then what do I want to do? Do I like that sound? Do I want to adjust it slightly? The number of people who are like, hey, would you do this thing? And it's like, that's as simple as just like you figuring out how you want to play it. That's super important to me. So anyway, okay, I'm on my high horse a little bit. We're going to be talking about concepts. I'm trying to give you tools to sit down and learn. But if you want licks, if you start developing your ear, you can go and listen to any blues record. And you can learn Albert King licks from Albert King records. And you can learn Joe Bonamassa licks from Joe Bonamassa records. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Albert King is doing Albert King better than I'm ever going to do him. And Joe Bonamassa is doing Joe Bonamassa better than I'm ever going to do him. And I'm not trying to play like them. I'm trying to take the concepts that they have and then add those concepts to what I can do. And then I want to hopefully play the best I can play in my own style. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so much talking. So we're doing a 12-bar blues today. And this is the track. It's a 1 chord. For the first 4 bars. If you don't know what a 12-bar blues is, check out this video. 4 chord, back to the 1 chord, and then 5. Okay, and it's going to do that twice. So let's talk about some rhythm concepts first. Coffee. Okay, rhythm concepts. So the first thing we're going to do, and this is as simple as it gets, is I'm going to use this scale. I'm going to use these 3 chords, right? Here's your 1 chord. Here's your 4 chord. Here's your 5 chord. And we're just going to just bounce on these bottom 2 strings, right? And you can see how tight I'm keeping it. And not the bottom 2, the 6 and the 4. Okay? And then 4 chord. That's it. Now, right away, a couple of concepts. Number 1. Oh, right. Yeah, this is microphonic. I was like, what is that echo? Well, the echo is right here. That's so cool.
Maybe you can hear it now.
All right. So, first thing. we're just using these two notes, right? I'm rolling my volume back. Tab can't teach you any of this. Only your ear can teach you this. I'm staying on my high horse, man. Listen, I've gotten to play with a lot of guys. How about more story time? How about this? If you like the talking, please put it in the comments, because I always get a little self-conscious. But this is a. So, I was playing a Christmas show. This was years and years ago now. I think probably. I mean, over a decade. Whatever. It was a long time ago, and I was playing this Christmas show, and I remember there was a guy on the bill who, I personally, I thought that I was a better player. I think I'm a better player than he was, even at the time. I thought I was a better singer, even at the time, and I preferred the content of my songs. You know, I thought and not that music is a competition or there's better or worse, but in my preferences, I felt like I preferred the things that I do. And I got down there and I did my thing, and then he got down there and he blew me off the stage. It was like, like no one would have been like, oh yeah, you were better. Like there's no, my mom, right? But no one else. So the point of that is, like, the experience he had was just crazy. And when I get to play with guys who've played big stages and done that, their rhythm playing, right? Playing guitar, playing lap steel, whatever, only 4%, 3% is the diddly-diddly-dee. The rest of it is holding it down and playing rhythm. And this dude was locked in. And people that I play with, you know, I was hanging out with Phil Mann. You know, we met at NAMM, and we were sitting there and we were jamming at the Asher booth. And I said to him, I was like, God, man, you're great. You know, do you play with someone? And he goes, yeah, Van Morrison. And it was like, oh, yeah, I can tell. Like, right, like that rhythm is got to be tight. That's the point. So, very first exercise, we're just playing rhythm. And it's just this. Right? And then the second half, we're going to change the energy, because the rhythm, part of playing music in general, really, is tension and release. If you start, there's nowhere to go. All right? But if you just, and I'm adding that flat 7 on the 5th string. We can add the flat 7 here. Right, and then go back. So let's add that flat 7 too, just to add a little bit more movement. But the point is, we're trying to keep it really tight, and then open it up a little bit. Don't take up all the space. We are harmonic drummers. We're trying to create part of the rhythm, be part of the groove. And when you can do that, all of a sudden, like, it starts to feel really good. So try to just keep it feeling good, and we're gonna do it together. All right, here we go. Now, that's a great first exercise. Stop the video there. Practice that. Do that over and over and over again until you have it where you want it, where it feels tight. Let's make that rhythm a little bit more complex. Again, the idea is not to play complex rhythms, but sometimes we want to gussy it up. Sometimes we want to take up more space. Sometimes we want to take up less. Part of this is like, oh, look at the things that I'm doing to do that. So we're working in this D minor pentatonic scale. I don't even know if I've said that yet. This is the D minor pentatonic scale, and then these chords are dominant 7 chords, right? So in here's a little bit of theory real quick. Blues. Oh, it's gonna be a long video. I can already tell. Little blues Don't go to sleep. See, this is what happens. A little bit of blues theory. You're playing a minor pentatonic scale with minor thirds against dominant chords with major thirds. So you can always add the major third. I have got a whole blues video on how the scale works, etc. But basically, look, here's our minor pentatonic scale, and then here's our shape around a dominant 7 chord. And when you put the two together, I'm going to put the notes in blue that are not in the minor pentatonic scale, but that exist in other chords. Now, you got to be selective. So, okay. All that being said, let's take that rhythm. Okay. We don't need to add the other chords yet because we're not doing anything outside of the scale. All right, I'm doing and again, figure it out by ear. I know people are like, I can't see what you're doing. Well, that's great. That's by design. I don't have a camera angle down here so you can just mimic me because I need you to hear it. Because I could play it, right? Or I could play it, and it's the same notes, right? All those are different ways to play the same thing. Coffee. Oh, okay. So here we are. We're talking about this. We're adding flat 7, flat 3, 1, top strings. And again, the top strings are not right. I'm muting with my left hand. Okay, and then up to the 4 chord. So okay, before I jump ahead, let's. Okay. All that's the same. Flat 7, flat 3, 1. I'm not going. I could, but I'm going to do it. Okay. And then 4 chord. That's that flat 7, although I'm also adding it's the flat 7 of the 4 chord, which is a flat 3, but also adding the flat 7, which is just part of the scale. Okay, but let's keep it tight. See those chops? It keeps it really nice and tight. And then the same thing for the 5 chord. But now, because of the way the turnaround happens, we got the, right? I'm just gonna go down a half step. It's not in the scale, but it works here, and so we're gonna add it in blue. All right, and then flat 7 of the 4 chord, and the flat 5 of the 4 the 4 of the 4 chord. The 4? No, what is that? The 3. The flat 3. It's the 4 of the 4 chord, which is not in, whatever, it doesn't matter. So against the 1 chord, against the 4 chord, and then for the turnaround. Okay? Now again, if you're having a hard time, I'll slow it down. I'm going to do it real slow, straight through, just the guitar, so you can try to learn it by ear. This is how we used to do it back in the day, right? We would slow the records down. There's so many programs out there to slow stuff down. I want you to work on your ear. It is more important than any single thing I can say. So here we go. I'm going to show you. Let's do that again. Okay, we're gonna do that twice. 4 chord. 1 chord. Oh! There it is. Let me do the whole thing again without any talking. This pickup's microphonic, and so I've got to change my technique to play around it, which is fine. It's just this goes back to like. Let me just say this again real quick. I know there's so much talking. I love this instrument. The pickups are microphonic. I like the way they sound, but I have to work around hitting them sometimes with my thumb and my fingers, especially when there's nothing else being played, because I got to work around it. Okay? Ooh. Okay, I got you. I'm back. All the way through. Okay, you see how we're doing it? This works against the same chords. It's this really similar rhythm, but now it starts to add a little bit of zhuzh to it, okay? Concepts. Okay, so you see how we're adding? Now I can do anything around the chord. I can take all types of different, we go back and we look at the scale, any sort of like, right? I can take all of those rhythms. I'm going to flat 3, flat 7, 1, flat 3, right? You start to see these concepts. I want to introduce, the rhythm is the most important part. The notes are almost secondary. Flat 3 to a 3, right? Again, blue note. Not the blue note. The blue note is actually the flat 5, but that's a whole different conversation, because again, I'm not thinking blues scale. I'm thinking minor pentatonic scale, and then I'm adding notes that exist outside of the scale against certain chords. And again, like that's gonna fall outside of the context of this video for the most part, but like check it out, like this. There's a okay. So flat 3, 3, 1, flat 7, 1, 3, flat 3, 1, 1. And then I gotta change it a little bit. But you see what I'm saying? Like the point is like all of those work, and I can combine them in a million ways. The idea is I'm playing around a chord. I'm taking the ideas around a chord. Flat 3 to 3 to 1. Flat 7, 1. Flat 3 and 1. Flat 3 here. So this is the flat 3 of the 4 chord, which happens to be a flat 6 up to a natural 6. Right? To the 4. It's the same move as... It's the same move as that. So I can start to take these concepts and put them around these chords. Now, let's add a turnaround. Turnaround. What does that mean? At the end of the song, right? At the end of the 12 bars, there's this 1 chord to a 5 chord. I guess I'm going to put a diagram up of a 12-bar blues. Cool. 1 chord to a 5 chord. That's where the turnaround typically occurs, and you hear things, right, or whatever. Like, that's a really common thing. So let's do it 1 to 1 on the 5 chord and the 4 chord. 1 1, and I'm gonna work my way down. I'm not highlighting anything. I want you to use your ear, but I'm telling you the notes. I'm telling you where I am. I'm giving you all of the information that you need. If you use your ear just a little bit, it's gonna help. 1 to 1, flat 7 against 1. Okay, flat 7 on my 5 string. Everything's ringing. Flat 7 on the 5 string, 1 on the 4 string. The 4 string keeps being open. 6, flat 6, and then, okay, right, and then I go to my 5 at the end. So 1 1, flat 7 1, 6 1, flat 6 1, 5, and then I go to my 5 chord. Okay, so check it out. Here we go. We're just adding that. That's the only thing we're adding. It's going to be just... We've heard it a million times, so now let's play it. And if you're wondering what that last chord is, I'm just playing all my open strings, but I'm adding the flat 7 on the 2nd string. I guess I'm not playing my high string, but I could, but I like it better without it, which is putting the flat 7 on top, which makes it a dominant 7 chord. And again, we've covered all this stuff and other stuff. I can't get too deep into that. But if you want a whole thing on like dominant 7 chords or whatever, comments! All right. The last part of this blues concept video. So it's been rhythm the whole time. Check this out. This is a great exercise for lead stuff to start getting some licks under your fingers. We have this scale. We have the chord changes. We have this rhythm. We can add some lead lines, you know, especially if somebody was singing like, wake up mama, turn that lamp down low. So wake up mama, turn your lamp down low. Right? You want to put those licks in between the lyrics. So you don't want to play the licks while someone's singing. That's huge. Don't play when someone's singing. The singer is the star. Always. No matter what. You go listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan, amazing guitar player. He's not playing leads while he's singing. Go listen to Jimi Hendrix. No one's playing solos except for during the outro when people are singing. It's what it is. Coffee! All right, so this is a long video, but let's wrap it up with this idea, okay? We're gonna add some leads, and I've done a lot of lead videos, so you know where the leads are coming from. The idea here is that no matter what you're doing lead-wise, you should be hitting the 1 of each chord, and it should be tight. And you should be getting this riff. Do you see what I'm saying? It's got to be tight. Pardon me. So we're going to have this lick. 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 And for the turnaround, we could do a lick, or same thing we were doing here. But now, please tell me I didn't just hit stop. Okay, we're good. Went to sleep again. Camera's overheating. We're almost there. So instead of this on the 5th and 4th strings, we're gonna do it on the 2nd and 1st strings. And now we've got a whole song, right? Lick. Here we go. Get bigger. Does that make sense? Right? We're adding licks. So now, this is a blues this is the thing. You can play leads, you can play rhythm, you can do it all. You can do it by yourself. You can do it with just a drummer and a bass player. You can do it in a band setting. You need to use your ears. Where do I fit? How much should I be playing? How much am I creating space for others? All of that stuff goes into this. I think this makes sense. I hope you dig this. I like this lesson. Is it good? Let me know. Thanks for hanging.